What's going on, guys? This is Tapion from the Lookout, and today we are finally back on track with BT27, and let's discuss the top 10 best cards from this set. But before we begin, huge shout out to the Coffee Club, our lovely patrons. These are our $2 and up patrons that buy us coffee. They keep this crazy content grind going, and guys, thanks a lot for your support. If you wish to join the Coffee Club, link to a patron is in the description below. And I think that's about everything. Roll the video. As with all of our videos, let's start with a breakdown. So in this video, I will be rating the best cards from BT27 History of Z. This is my personal ranking. The scaling is 10 to 1, so from the worst best one to the very best one. And yeah, it's been quite difficult to actually build a top 10 because this is insane, and I don't want to just slap super rares everywhere, though you know the majority of them will be super rares. And we'll just wrap it up with a skipped summary. Let's go. Number 10, Supreme Kai of Time, Imprisoned Godly Spirit. Yeah, it's been very difficult to come up with these lower numbers, but I think this is the best worst one, right? So, Barrier Servant Blocker, Dark Overrealm 5 for 1 black, auto at the end of your turn, switch this card to active mode. What this translates to is a 30k generic Barrier Blocker for black, which can also swing during your turn. Yeah, this is insane. The auto goes around the Servant issue. So you basically have a very big barrier blocker for black, and barrier blockers are very good. She also doesn't have unique, so you can just play multiples of her, and I'm pretty sure that this card will see play in every black deck going forward, like at least as a one-off, maybe as two, depending on how defensive you want to be. She's like a smaller Vegeta, but with the Vegeta SR, but without double strike. However, like for 1 energy, 30k barrier blocker which restands, yeah, this is very good. Number 9 is the Bardock SR. Oh man, this is one of those that are just game changers, right? This is not a huge game changer, but a very welcomed one when it comes to black. A real banger of a card. Counter attack limit 1. If your leader is black, you negate the attack and you play the Bardock. Now the big thing is that you basically warp 4 cards from you warp your drop. It's like Overrealm 5 effectively, and if there's like 5 or more cards, you play him for free. So he just doesn't have Overrealm because, you know, keyword triggers, blah blah. The idea is that you can play him on your opponent's turn as a counter. It's a free negate, and that's it. That's all there is to it. But it is a free negate in black, and this is like one-off. This is definitely a one-off in probably all black decks. Because, yeah, black doesn't really get a lot of these free negates, and now you have one, and it's very easy to set it up. So, yeah, definitely a big win for black. Number 8, and I can already see some people screaming in frustration. How is this number 8? It's a controversial placing, a rocket built for 1 person. So, let me just flat out say, rocket is an amazing card. It's a generic card. It's amazing. It basically allows you to Z-stack a card from your Z deck. You have to pay, of course, but permanent. Your opponent's battle cards with same keyword skills as cards under this one can't attack or switch to active mode. So when used correctly, it can shut down entire turns. If you put a barrier, deflect barrier card under it, you're hitting the majority cards in this game. Especially if you do like deflect. A lot of things have deflect now. The only issue with the card, plus it also sets up the Broly for free, but the only issue that I have with it is that it's usually too costly outside of Broly. You will be running this in Broly. In Broly, this is phenomenal. This is absolutely bonkers amazing, but I don't believe that outside of Broly it will be as impactful as a lot of us originally thought, because it is expensive. And if you're paying 4 energy, for example, to turn off your opponent's turn, you just spent 4 energy doing that. Broly doesn't care. Broly wants you to spend all energy immediately. But I think some decks will still find a place for this, like you play one of these and you play like one cost deflect barrier, and that's it. So free energy, you could probably shut down a turn with that. Anyways, number 8. Number 7 is the newest Gogeta Z battle card. This card is stupid good. So, SS Gogeta Bold Arrival, 4 cost, 2Z energy, deflect unique double strike barrier. However, the card has a really cool thing. Let's say it's a 20k double striker. Really cool thing, and that is you can place 1 Goku and 1 Vegeta from your warp into your drop, and then just pay 1 generic energy instead of 4. You still need to pay the 2Z energy, but you can just play him for 1 if you have 3 or more energy. So yeah, it isn't color locked. That's the biggest thing. You can run this in Gogeta. You can run this in any deck that runs enough Gokus and Vegetas. You can run this in U7 if you want to do that. No, you can't. You can't run this in. Don't do that. Don't do that. So, but you can run it. You can run it in the other U7 builds, like Gohan, for example. Gohan probably has enough Gokus and Vegetas to justify the cost reduction, right? So it isn't color locked or leader locked. Any deck with Goku and Vegeta cards in it can play it just for 1 energy and the Z cost. That's a very strong generic card. For number 6, we have the Tapion Z Unison, Tapion Confrontation. I love this card. I was very skeptical about it, and then I've tried it out and I'm like, yep, this is good, this is good. So, yellow got a very strong Z Unison. Basically what Tapion says is auto once per turn for 1 yellow. When your battle card is played, or when this card attacks, you can activate a skill that includes an energy marker cost on this card twice for the turn. However, it's once per turn, so it triggers on the first possible window. So if you play a battle card, you need to pay 1 for this card to trigger, otherwise you're not getting the effect. Same happens if you swing first with it, then you need to pay. Anyway, the big thing is the +1. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons in rest mode, and it can switch to active mode until the end of your opponent's turn. Basically what you get here is a 2-cost 15k Z unison that gets 2 markers because it can fire off the +1 twice, and locks 2 cards. So this boosts your survival greatly. This makes this card very big. Like, it gains 2 markers per turn while locking 2 cards. Yes, you have to pay 1 energy for it to get the second effect to get the effect going again, but still, this is really strong, and at worst case, it's a dual attacker, because at +0, you switch it to active mode. Overall, this plus the old Vegeta that plays a card in rest mode, or it switches it to rest mode, I'm unsure. It is SS4 Vegeta Prideful Transformation. Those two now go very well hand in hand. Those two are very strong together. Now we are breaking into top 5, and I can already see some people mad. It's like, how is Broly number 5? Broly is amazing. Number 5 was very hard to do. The first 2 were the easiest, but 5, 4 and 3, this was difficult. But let's go with Broly first. So this Broly does pretty much everything. It's an absolutely insane boss monster. It's one of the craziest yellow cards that I have ever seen. In any deck, it gets at least 1 effect off, maybe 2. So weaker, if you have a weaker Unison or a leader that just doesn't attack, then you can get 2 effects off, maybe 3 if you have a Z extra. Basically what he does, you play him for 2 energy, and then you switch as many cards as you want to your rest mode, and for each card that you switch this way, he gains either critical, double strike, barrier, dual attack, blocker, and revenge for the game. For the game. So usually if you switch 2 cards, let's say you will always switch one, and that's gonna be your Z extra. If you switch a leader, you gain like double dual, for example, or you gain double crit. If you switch 3 cards, you gain double dual crit, or you give yourself barrier depending on what you're playing against. The only problem and why is he number 5 is because getting more effects on him outside of the Broly deck is the only issue. In Broly it's easy. In other decks it's not necessarily that easy. You can still get like you always get 1, you can get 2 effects off. Even 2 is already good, like double dual for example, or double crit. Yeah, those are very, very nice keywords to have, but getting more of them consistently outside of Broly is like the only issue, because in Broly that's super easy. Anyways, that's why this card is number 5. Number 4. Okay, so I know some might be thinking, what? How is Broly 5 and this is 4? Yeah, Bulma is a weird placing, I know. Bulma is a weird placing. However, this is an anti-hand destruction silver bullet. And I'm a hand destruction player, so yeah. You read the lookout. You get what you came for. So anyway, Bulma is really cool when it comes to anti-hand destruction tech. Because what she says, like, okay, counterplay, you'll play her in rest mode, she gains barrier, blah blah blah. Auto, limit 1. If this card is in rest mode, when your opponent uses one of their skills to add a card from their deck to the hand, your opponent discards 1 from their hand. What does this do? This does things such as I force you to discard a card, okay, and you play the Gohan anti-hand destruction card, so, or Vegeta Exterminator. So you play Vegeta because you discard Vegeta, he plays himself and you draw a card. The moment you play Vegeta, I pay 1, I play Bulma, you no longer draw a card, you just kind of discard 1 from your hand. Actually, you do draw 1 and then you discard 1, so you're still basically not drawing here, right? You're still losing cards in hand. So it's cool. It's very, very cool. It's a way for hand destruction to fight back when it comes to these silver bullets. It's still expensive because you're still paying 1 for the effect. So this has to be on a turn when you're like, okay, I can probably push for a game unless my opponent has like couple or at least 1 of the anti-hand destruction silver bullets. I can probably push for a game. I can take away their entire hand, and that's when you use the energy for Bulma. So yeah, this is gonna help hand destruction a lot. Number 4. Number 3. The top 3. So Frieza SCR. Frieza is the only SCR on the list, and Frieza is phenomenal. Frieza is really, really good. Is he better than Gogeta? I don't think so, but he's your second best choice. So, well, depending on what you're playing, maybe Picklehan is there. It's a very, very tough crowd when it comes to yellow SCRs, but Frieza is amazing. So, Double Striker, 40k, Auto, X. X can be 0. When this card is played, choose up to X of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barriers, send them to the warp. Then, until the end of your opponent's turn, when your opponent plays a card, they must be played in rest mode. All of your opponent's cards that are played, regardless of deflect, regardless of barrier, regardless of anything, are played in rest mode. This is an aura effect. This triggers on them. This goes into active and then it doesn't go away until the effect expires, basically. This is Cell Surge effect. Now, if you've never played Cell Surge, well, I'm happy for you. I'm definitely happy for you. This is the reason why the deck fundamentally broke the game, because you could just say like, hey, my opponent cannot play anything in active mode next turn. That's one of the strongest floodgates in the entire game. And Frieza by itself costs 2 energy. However, here is even the better part. This works with any yellow or Frieza clan leader. Cooler Unison, Successor Frieza, Frieza Swap, Red Frieza Swap. All of those just got Racist Frieza, also got a buff here. So all of those got a new SCR to use with a very, very strong effect. It just costs 2 to play, so yeah, definitely number 3. This card is wow. Number 2, we are at top 2, and of course Vegeta is number 2, just like in the show. Vegeta is number 2. It hurts me, it really hurts me. SSB Vegeta, Power of Conviction. Dual attack 35k permanent. If this card's attack would be negated by a skill of one of your opponent's cards, you may remove a 1Z card in your battle or Unison area from the game instead. This is an absurd generic blue boss monster, and what this effect does is, well, your opponent can still activate negates, they can still activate counters, but the negate the attack portion will not resolve. Everything else will happen, but not the negate the attack. So if they play Dimension Magic, they will still get to untap 2 energy, but they won't be able to stop your attack. So I love this. This is such an amazing callback to Tournament of Power when Topo shoots Hakai and you just can't stop Vegeta. Nothing stops Vegeta. This is amazing. So if you go to 2 lives versus Blue, going forward, you're dead. Blue will now just kill you from 2 lives. Why? Because this guy plus Beast Gohan is just a GG. If you go to 2, your opponent will swing with Vegeta. You cannot stop this attack. They will dump their entire hand. They'll just dump everything. Everything goes into this one swing, except 2 cards. You take 3. Technically, but yeah, you get the point. They dump hand, you take the damage, you go to 1, blue player pays 2 energy, burns you with Beast Gohan, and you lost. So from now on, you cannot go to 2 lives versus blue. Sometimes you cannot even go to 3, because this permanent isn't limit 1 and Vegeta is a dual attacker. Yeah, one of the best cards that I have ever seen, and shockingly, this is still just number 2. Number 1 is Son Goku. Yes, unlimited potential. If Vegeta is number 2, then number 1 is Goku. Vegeta is always number 2 to Goku, sadly. So, this card is the best card in the set. This is one of the best generic red cards that I have ever seen. Barrier Blocker, 20k. You play him for 1 energy and you minus one of your opponent's cards by 20. One of their battle cards. And he has an auto, which is where he truly shines. Once per turn, when you use a card in a combo, switch this card to active mode. Barrier Blocker, which can block twice, or is a dual attacker and minuses something. You pay 1, you give something minus 20. There's a lot to go through on this card. If you put this in any deck that is free combos, this deck will go crazy. This card will just go crazy. New Vegeta loves this card. Super 17 with this card is amazing. Because Super 17 has a free combo. Vegeta has a free combo as well. This card isn't unique. He is a limit to 1, but he's very hard to remove. But he's not unique. Next turn, your opponent summons another one. Good luck. If you're not a green deck, good luck, you're not getting through this. This is insane. And then they combo 1 card and they restand all of their Gokus. Yeah. Phenomenal card. Absolute game changer for red. Best card in the set. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below, what are your top 10 best cards from BT27 History of Z? Do you agree with my list? Do you have something else as number 1 or as top 3? Let me know in the comments. I read all of your comments. I try to respond to everything. I love our little community. And while you're here, hit those like and subscribe buttons. Help us get to 6k subs when I'm gonna give away a booster box. This has been Damien from the Local, and I'll see all of you in the next video.